Today on Region Spotlight, we're talking about Rias Baixas. So Rias Baixas is best known for producing Albarino, and it is broken up into five regions. You have Ribera do Ulua in the north, Val dos Alnes, Sotomayor, O Rosal, and Condado Dote. So these five regions have slight differences in the style of wines that they make. And before we get into the overall, let me, just because we have this map here, go a little bit more into these regions. Ribera do Ulua is the newest region. It's still cool, but it does have more mainland influences. So it's not as warm as the regions in the south, but it is definitely warmer than Valdosalnes and Sotomayor because it is cut off a little bit more from this Atlantic coastal influence. So this is the newest region. Lots of new producers and new vineyards are being planted in this area. Then the Valdosalnes is considered to be the most classic, most typical style of wines from Rias Baixas all along the Atlantic coast. Very cool, very saline, and is the largest production region currently. This is where most of the Albariños that you're familiar with would come from, just because these are going to be your most typical and often some of your oldest wineries coming from this area. Then a little further south, you have Sotomayor, which is the smallest of the subregions. There's no major producers in this area. This is all basically just small farmers and small growers producing very cool and elegant wines. So if you like the wines of Valdosalnas, but you wanted a little bit more minerality or a little bit more uniqueness to the wines of Sotomayor might be for you. And then in the south, you have the twin regions of O Rosal and Condado Dote. O Rosal being a little bit cooler than Condado Dote, but what sets these two apart from the rest of the regions is that they are definitely the warmest of all five of the regions, and both of them will blend often their wines with a little bit of Loredo or Trechadura, although you can find plenty of 100% Albariños in both of them. They definitely have a little bit more of the style and history of making wines that are blend of um, Albariño, Loredo, Trechadura, Caino Blanco, and a couple other varietals as well, just like the Portuguese have on the other side of the Minho River. So all five of these regions produce high quality wines. So let's learn a little bit more about the overall area. As I mentioned, you saw on the map that basically all the subregions and the entire area is right on the Atlantic. So there's tremendous Atlantic influence. The Atlantic Ocean has a very cool current running through right in front of Spain. So that brings cool water coming in and it creates a moderating influence. Spain can be very hot all over, but that cooling influence allows these wines, even though they're getting a tremendous amount of sunshine, to still retain incredible acidity. Then the soils, like you can see in this second picture, are very high in granite. So that's just the natural soil of that area. It's very poor, very difficult to grow anything other than grapes, which are very hardy, and they are able to retain a lot of that minerality. And when you're talking about Rias Baixas, as I've already mentioned numerous times, you're usually talking about Albarino. It's most well known and it's autonomous grape. So Albarino is a aromatic, thin-skinned white varietal. It is in the flavor profile a little bit of Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Grigio, very crisp, very light, but has its own unique citrus flavors. It tends to pull a lot of minerality from the soil, and the region of Rias Baixas also tends to focus very much on quality over quantity. You can see here with these vine trellising, these are all done um, in a way that you can't actually do machine harvesting. Everything, not everything, but the vast majority of production in Rias Baixas is hand harvested, and the area is prone to having lots of difficulty growing since it is a wet, cool climate. So a lot of the growers have to spend a lot of time in their vineyards taking care of their grapes to make high quality wine. So they're not producing huge quantities like some other regions in Spain, France, and Portugal might be. Here, you're definitely seeing a lot of quality over quantity in almost every single producer from top to bottom. So, who would love the wines of Rias Baixas? Everyone who's looking for crisp white wines definitely needs to know these wines. If you love Sauvignon Blanc, if you love Pinot Grigio, especially in the lighter and more crisp styles like the wines from Trentino Alto Adige or Sancerres, you definitely should be looking at Albarino if you haven't in the past. People who love seafood definitely are going to love Albarino. As I mentioned before, these wines have a lot of salinity, a lot of minerality to them, and they have a lot of citrus flavors to them. And generally, when people are enjoying seafood, they will enjoy a little bit of that almost brininess and salinity that you get in seafood, and often will put lemon or lime on their seafood, where here you already have it in the wine, both of those flavors, so it can perfectly complement what you're enjoying in the dish with your bottle of wine. And if you're looking for something a little bit lower alcohol, you're definitely able to find wines in the 12 and 13% categories, where other regions that tend to produce white wines can sometimes already be bumping closer to 14 or 14.5. So if you like a little bit less alcohol, but you don't want something that's underripe, this is definitely a great region to explore some wines that will be fully ripe at 12.5% alcohol. And people who like good price for value, if you're looking for top quality Albarino, you can still find excellent examples of it under 20, under 25. Whereas if you're looking for top quality Sancerres, you're going to struggle to find any quality, any price point under 25. Often the best quality Sancerres are already in the 30s or 40s. So that's definitely something that you should look for if you're looking for wines from Rias Baixas, is comparing that to some other regions. Now, who would skip Rias Baixas? If you're looking for a big, creamy, rich wine, this is not it. These wines are very lean, very crisp, judicious use of oak, if any, on any of them. If you're not a fan of citrus fruits, if you don't like saline, salty flavors, and if you're looking for some red wines, Rias Baixas is not the region for you. There's plenty of other great regions in Spain and in the Iberian Peninsula, but definitely you're going to want to skip Rias Baixas. If you want to know any more about these wines, feel free to drop us an email or send me a message, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it.